There's this quote by Rumi. He says, "As you start to walk on the way appears." Most people wait for clarity before they act, but clarity only comes after movement. I've heard the phrase, "I don't know what I want to do," more times than I can count. And this has been from myself for the most part, and from others just talking to me. But the real and raw truth is you're not going to know until you begin to try. The path is only clear in reverse. I went to college for a year to study theology and ministry. 6 years later, I'm running social media for a soon-to-be billion-dollar company. That path does not make any sense to me. There was no sign that this is like where I was heading. There's no step-by-step plan or perfect moment of insight. But looking back, I could see the path clearly, and all those little things led to where I am now. But it all started with a simple desire, a desire to change and a desire for more. There was like no clarity, but only drive. I wanted to make a better life for myself. I left college with absolutely nothing. I left home with nothing. I got married with nothing. But I had a drive. I wanted to be something better. I wanted to provide something better for my wife, my family, But each new thing that I tried, it gave me a little more insight, a little bit more momentum. Like last year, my business was on the decline. Like I do a side business where I help some people with their social media, and I do this in my free time. But last year was on the decline. I didn't have any clarity, but I was always trying to figure out new ways to do things. Now, this year, I'm now locking in my first client with a 12-month contract. He liked all the work that I'd done for him for the first month that we worked together. And now he wants to do it for another 12 months. He wants an actual contract, and I've always done things month to month. But looking at last year and looking at now, the path wasn't 100% clear, but it became clear with small steps that I took. And it all happened because I just kept moving. I didn't give it up. I didn't do the easy thing, which would be like, I'm done. The easy thing would have been, I don't know what to do now. I'm gonna just do something completely different. It was like small tests, small pivots, small observations that kind of led me to where I'm at now. Waiting for clarity is often just procrastination in disguise. As we get older, the lies that we tell ourselves about why we're not starting something become more sophisticated, right? The truth is, feeling stuck isn't about not knowing. It's about not deciding. And not deciding is a decision. It's a choice to sit still. Yes, research matters, asking questions matters, but at some point continuing to gather information is just another mask of fear. You have to test that information. You have to act on that little bit of information that you get. There's a simple framework for finding clarity that I use, and I posted about this years ago, right? Where it's like, act, even if it's a small, low-risk move, right? Observe, like look around. How did it feel? What happened? Did it work? Next is iterate. If it worked, can we double down? If it didn't work, we need to pivot and try something new. And just repeat this process until it's and I love this because this is like something that one of my clients taught me. It's like a series of falling forward in business. It's a series of continual mistakes. And that's how it is in life, right? Nobody has the clear game plan. We have lessons that we could learn from people that are 80 years old, 3, 4, 5 times their elder, maybe, I don't know. And they've lived life, but their blueprint for living life isn't going to fit ours. And maybe some pieces do, but unfortunately, like, you can't just copy someone else's life and just expect things to work the same. I do a lot of writing, and I love writing. My style of writing is a lot more different than others. I do a lot of like audio writing where I'll just sit there and record myself talking through things, and then I'll break all that down into a newsletter. But I read a post where someone was like, some people write every day, or it was a big author that wrote every day. And then there was another big author that wrote only when they were inspired. And then another that wrote every morning. And another that wrote in the evening. And they're all big, well-known authors, but they all had their own process, right? There's no universal formula to this. What worked for them might not work for you, and that's okay. There's a concept in behavioral psychology called the action bias. shows that taking action, even imperfect action, reduces anxiety more effectively than sitting in indecision. Take the simple act of getting out of bed. The longer you sit there deciding whether or not to hit snooze, the harder it gets to actually get up. But if you just move, if you just throw off the blanket, just get up, put your feet on the ground, that whole resistance is gone. You're up. You're good. You're going. So to summarize that, it's like action leads and motivation follows. I'm not always motivated to go to the gym and get a workout in, but once I'm done with that workout, I feel better and I actually feel motivated. And during that whole process, I don't want to do it. I do it. I feel good, feel better at the end. And so I have to remember that at the end of it, I'm going to feel that motivation to have worked out, but it didn't come until after I'd done the thing. So a simple challenge for you and for me today, what's one thing you can do today to move forward in your life, in your business, in your projects, in school, whatever you're doing. Maybe that thing you're unsure about. Maybe it isn't right for you, but that's still clarity. Finding out if something isn't right for you is still that little bit of clarity that you need, that you want. And that's still just a step forward. It frees you from the weight of what if, because wondering what if will never bring peace, but action will.